Guys, AMP in 2022 is gonna kill it. I promise you. I'm gonna look back at this very same video and I'm gonna look back at my performance when 2023 is going to come around the corner, and I'm gonna see AMP probably double in price. I wholeheartedly believe that with my investor heart, that AMP is the most undervalued token that there is on the market. And if you're not paying attention to this giant just opportunist flag waving in front of you, this giant money flag that Flex is just waving in the air to get investors or to get eyes on it, on their project, you have to do yourself a favor and at least research the project. I'm going to go on about the video as always. You guys know I'm an AMP investor at heart. This channel started, my very first video was an AMP video, and you guys know how I roll on this channel. I love AMP. I need to tell you something. So I was supposed to make an update video on the 25th talking about the end result or the end announcement and going over what I believe will happen in 2022 for Flexmas, where it was their 25-day thing of where they announced 25 days straight just pure announcements for the Flexa network and what they're doing around, what type of currencies they're supporting, what are they adding, partnership deals and stuff like that. People on the subreddit, the AMP subreddit right here, is a little community where AMP investors get come on here and they do their due diligence. They post their research here. And the Flexa team themselves, they come on here and they make announcements like this one in front of me that I'm going to be talking about. And just people of all the likes are on here, people that actually use the payment rail, the Flexa payment rail, to buy things for Christmas. I saw a couple posts on here where people went to GameStop and they bought things with they bought things with SHIB, and they bought things with different types of cryptocurrencies, and that that's all pretty cool. And it just shows that it works. It's a very small community right now, so only at 42K members. But if you guys want to join it, if you guys want to get the latest on AMP, I recommend you guys, join the Reddit or at least check it out. But this announcement in front of me is, people got upset. Honestly, people thought that it was going to be some major announcement. They thought that it was going to be game-changing to Flexa, and then AMP was just going to skyrocket. But guys, I repeat myself in these videos so much, but AMP is not a short-term thing. If you're investing in AMP for the short term, honestly, you really should not do it, because at that point you're wasting your time. If you think that AMP is just going to take off in 3 months, that's not how investing works in general. My channel is not centered around that. I will never promote that a cryptocurrency or a stock will just triple in value over the next 3 months. But you have to have a reasonable head when it comes to investing and have reasonable expectations. And like I said, I say it in all my other videos, AMP for me is a very, very long-term hold. I will not be selling this thing until I'm 40 years old. That's how long and how much I believe in the project itself. A more reasonable long-term approach, if you guys don't want to wait that long, would be more around 7 years. 5 years I think is a reasonable approach and a reasonable long-term time frame to invest in AMP. But announcement in front of me announces 30 more digital assets to the payment rail, and it allows you to pay that in crypto and get a service or product back at the retailers that it supports. That is huge. I think that is an amazing announcement, considering that Flexa is young. It's only been around since 2017 or 2018, and it's doing all the right things. It's building the right foundation, a very strong foundation. And considering that they're at the forefront of the digital payment rail system, they are going to do very, very good things coming 2022. And that's why I'm doubling down. Said in the last video, I want 100,000 tokens, and I'm pretty close, guys. If you guys check my Gemini portfolio right here on screen, I have 54,000 tokens. I don't have enough. I want more than that. Like I said, I want at least 100,000, and even if I reach 100,000, I'm gonna still be buying in. But at that point, I feel comfortable enough to go allocate my money elsewhere. And by the way, guys, if you don't know, I'm doing a little thing where by the time I'm 25, or by the time it hits 2025, I want to at least grow my overall net worth to about 6 figures, and I want to get it as close as possible to $100,000. And I'm making a video about it so that way I could go back and look at my videos and remind myself that that's my personal goal. And if I do reach that, it's all going to be documented so you guys could see how I get there and exactly what I invested in to get myself to that point. But this is the real announcement for Flexa right here, and this is the reason why I think Flexa is going to do great things 2022. Coming 2022, I could see this, like, I could see Flexa easily being 10 cents, reasonably easily being 10 cents actually, and at the highest point I could see it going to 15 cents. And that's this right here. This sort of outlook on Flexa and the entire ecosystem surrounding the AMP network and what they built on top of AMP just is all the more reason to invest in AMP. And like I said, they're waving the money flag in front of you. They're shooting flares into the sky, getting you to put your attention to Flex in and getting people to recognize the value behind this. And even though they're not directly tied to the AMP, because technically AMP is open source, technically any company could come by and start building on AMP, but what Flexa has is special. They have the first movers advantage. They're at the forefront of digital payment technology, so you have to pay attention to them when you're investing in AMP, because they're the big player when it comes to AMP. If you look at any other AMP projects, these guys are the largest in the space and they're the biggest, and they make the biggest noise in the room. So it's really good to pay attention to these guys, and this is why I invest in AMP, because of Flexa. But looking at this tweet, the type of reach that Flexa is going to have is going to be incredible. And for me, being that I'm a long-term holder, being that I'm going to hold this thing for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years from now and come back, it just raises my confidence to think that I think it's going to be one of the best performing assets that I ever owned. I'm going to look back at this video one day when I'm like 35. And my 22 younger self is going to be telling me that this is going to be the best performing asset in my entire portfolio, and I 100% believe it. This tweet right here: we have now accomplished our goal of enabling more digital assets on Flexa than any other payment network. That is entirely true. I researched it, and they are making very, very good moves. And we are one important step closer to our missions of making it possible to use any asset in any app at any store in the world. And that, just saying that puts a smile on my face, because I believe that the Flexa network has been doing amazing things around the AMP ecosystem, and what they plan to do with Flexa itself and take this thing globally is just all the more reason to put your eyes on AMP, and also carefully watch Flexa. But guys, if you are on the fence about AMP, and like I said, that I need to preface this video with saying I'm not a financial advisor. I don't give any financial advice. This is not a buy signal. This is not me telling you to buy AMP. This is just an educational video in which I inform you about the things that are going around the AMP ecosystem, but I will never tell you to go and buy an asset. If you go do so yourself, please do your own due diligence, and I didn't influence your decision. Hopefully, this is something that you just have to be in the circle to understand why is it so big. And in terms of the fintech, and in terms of financials, in terms of what Flexa is capable of doing, I think that type of foundation that they're building is one that it's very interesting, because when companies are early on, they don't move like that. I've invested for quite a long time now. I'm investing since I turned 18, and I've seen companies not perform good or have empty promises, but Flexa seems to be on top of every single announcement, on top of every single note, and they just get better, and they grow as a company, and they mature over time. And it just leads me to believe that I know we're very early investors in AMP. If you're watching this video because you're an AMP investor, may I remind you, you are very, very, very early to the party. I mean, You are so early to that party that they haven't even set up the chairs, the balloon, and the music yet. You're just there waiting. And it's very good to be waiting because I know this party is going to take off. I know this is going to take off. It's going to take time. Like I said, AMP is not like, it's not a short-term thing. If you're investing in AMP for the short term, you might as well not be investing at all. And it's not the type of narrative that I push on this channel. I'm a long-term investor. But man, is it just a good time to know about Flexa. That was just an update video, guys. If you guys want to see more content by me, the student investor, please go into the channel, like, comment, and subscribe this video. Hopefully I maybe put your eyes towards AMP, and maybe if you didn't know about the project before, you know about it now, and hopefully I influenced you to check it out and not buy it, of course, because I'm not a financial advisor. But other than that, I have merch in the description, so if you go check the link down in the description if you guys want to support me directly. Other than that, guys, be smart with your money, make smart plays, put your money to work. I'm the student investor. Be a student of the game. Always learn and grow your portfolio year over year. We are taking over, guys. This is our chance, and I don't think you should miss it, guys. I really think you should check it out. That's it. I'm signing off.